Miami and Texas. I mean, Austin's been phenomenal, hasn't it, the way that's grown. So, and during the day here, it's been lovely. During the day, you can walk around in a T-shirt and jeans, can't you? And the weather's lovely. So there will be answers. I'm sure they will find a way, but they're certainly putting on a fantastic show this weekend. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had a very chaotic race weekend in Brazil with the sprint and with the Grand Prix itself. Plenty of work for a lot of the teams to do after that Brazil weekend.
Your message to all the drivers today, Corinne Chandok, get a grip. Did anyone have any grip?
Get some jackets as well.
Oh, stop complaining. Was there any grip out on the track today?
Very little, but as the session unfolded, especially the second one, they were starting to find some grip, particularly those Mercedes drivers.
Let's have a look then at the on board with Oscar Piastri, and that was quite a favourite line. This was another corner, Lando Norris on this occasion, and then Joe Guan Yu, where lockups were happening.
Where the drivers don't press the brake pedal for 1.9 kilometres, which is lots of cold air. Lewis Hamilton, though, didn't have many complaints and went to the top of the times, which pleases team boss Toto Wolff. Lewis Hamilton getting super close to the wall on the outside of turn 5.
How close is close?
19 centimetres, apparently.
Yeah, that's not close. We think he touched the wall. Let's have a little look. Yes, he did.
Didn't fully get to put his lap together, so we don't know what his full potential was, but Hamilton will be very happy. In fact, I think we can hear from him now at the end of his day.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good. I mean, it's the first time that I've actually had a day like that, I think, this year. So the car was feeling really good in P1, P2, less so. So we've got some work to do overnight, but difficult to know exactly where we are or why we are where we are, but really enjoying driving the track, and I think, yeah, we'll see whether the car is still the same tomorrow.
We know that your car seems to suit the cooler conditions. Does that give you a bit of confidence looking ahead to the weekend? I know you're saying that often we see a strong Friday and then it can drop off, but are you feeling more positive because of these conditions?
I mean, yeah, I mean, hot conditions are a little bit worse for us, but I mean, the race pace is not that great. So the work we've got to do overnight is try and figure out how we can have better race pace without losing actual pace throughout the lap. But it was, as I said, it was nice to get like consecutive sectors and the car not throwing me off, and which was nice.
So you're feeling like you could be in the mix, and you're feeling good in yourself?
I think we're there. I'm feeling good in myself, yeah. I know like I said, coming into this weekend, I know it's not my driving, so and so I just got to work hard overnight, not to make big changes, and hopefully get some good rest tonight and come back strong tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Janson, you mentioned there work to do tonight to get the race pace. We've seen this from them before, where they've changed things on a Friday. What can he do to do that? And well, they don't want to lose the pace they've had today, do they? But that's been an issue this season. They seem to have changed things and didn't have the same car on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they're as surprised as everyone else, especially on the last couple of races. One being Austin, where they looked super quick on the Friday, and then Saturday they were nowhere really. So it's a very different track, very different temperature, very different type of tarmac that they use. So yeah, I think they're going to be competitive still. So I think there's going to be a good fight at the front. At least 4 or 5 cars fighting at the front for pole position, I think.
When you're a driver, it all matters. Every practice matters. Every day matters. So hopefully that stays going for them all weekend. And they're both just really seasoned drivers, and I feel like they just don't make a lot of mistakes. So I think that could play well for them this weekend.
Yeah, he wants to have a confidence-building weekend after what happened to Brazil, because he dropped down in the Drivers' Championship. We've come out of the tree so that you can come and join.
Thanks.
We were just looking... Oh, nice.
Very good.
Janson,
very good.
Leave the jokes to Crofty.
Oh, that was good as well. Very good, yes.
Right, let's talk about Brazil. Let's talk about Max Verstappen's drive in Brazil. We mentioned it there. Several drivers had great performances in Brazil. But Max in the wet, we saw it in 2016. We saw it this year. Yes, there are safety cars, but the way he was able to get from P17 up to the front, you and I stood though on the grid, we didn't think from where he was starting, where we looked at his position on the grid, he would ever be able to do that.
Well, all the talk was about how Lando was going to seize the opportunity to make massive inroads into the World Championship lead, and it completely went the other way. You know, Max was calm and patient when he needed to be on the opening lap, decisive when he needed to be, and he was the only one who seemed to be able to find the grip to come from so far back. Look at that move on Oscar. He was so far back. But, you know, we heard Lando stuck behind George early on. They couldn't pass the Alpines. No, so many drivers struggling to make the overtaking moves. And Max just you know, it was like he was walking on water.
Seems to just find grip, find lines other people just couldn't cope with out there. From somebody who's driven a race like that, you came from last twice in 2011 in Canada in the wet. I mean, what does it take? What is it that means you can find those? I said to Max afterwards, you know, people just say you're that good in the wet. Is that what it was for you as well?
He's just willing to try different lines. You know, like turn 2, he immediately knew if he was on the outside of turn 3, he could just drive around everyone. And he would have even got Lewis if Lewis didn't come across on the exit. So he's just very good at finding grip, basically. And the braking one's an interesting one because, as Karun said, he was able to brake later than everyone. I never saw him lock up a front. So it was never on the edge of locking, and I don't know where he was able to find that grip. Maybe he just had more confidence to hit the brakes. Maybe because he was braking harder from the start, he was able to get more brake temperature, which then gets more tyre temperature, which just helps everything under braking.
But how does that correlate to what you did in 2011? Sorry, Karun. I mean, what did you find in that race that you think others didn't find?
Well, it was very different for me because, as you can see, there's a dry line. So I was never the best in wet conditions, but I like to think that I was very good in changing conditions and understanding the conditions. And, you know, we also had better brake tape for the race probably than other people, so we had hotter brakes, which definitely helped as well.
In terms of wet race drives, is that the right way to put it? How good was that? Where would you rank it? I mean, we've got some others. You know, we had Senna, didn't we? At Donington, we had Senna. I mean, there were so many to look at. Where did you rank that drive from Max? Or was it better than 2016? Or was 2016 better for him?
I think it was better than 2016. I think because, you know, I feel like that pressure was building on the whole team, right? Since Barcelona, they hadn't won a race, which was bizarre considering the start of the season. They won 4 out of the first 5. And I felt like it was a race where he had to make a massive statement to show, you know, he could have won the race by second and got the same number of points. But I think he wanted to put a marker down to everybody else and listen, I'm still the top dog here. When the car's available for me to win, I can win this by 19 seconds. And guess what? You know, lots of people, you know, even yesterday were saying, oh, he only won it because he had the free pit stop. He beat George Russell by 23 seconds, which is more than a pit stop. So it was an extraordinary performance. His fastest lap was 1.1 seconds faster than Lando Norris, who, by the way, had the second fastest lap. It is amazing. And to answer your question, it's got to be one of the top 10 great drives. But I mean, we weren't alive for some of the early ones. You know, people talk about Jackie Stewart at the Nürburgring and things like that. So I always think it's tough to rank those when you haven't been alive to see some of them.
You can't question Max's ability in those conditions, but what was different with this race, as you said, it was controlled, unbelievably well controlled. You know, 2016, he came past me like I was stood still in Brazil, but then on the straight he spun the car and carried on.
Incredible save in 2016, though. But
to find himself in that position in the first place, you know, he didn't do that this race, and you could just see he was more of a thinking Max and placing his car where it was right to be, and he came away with a very impressive win.
But where it does definitely compare with those great wet drives is there were laps where he was seconds quicker than other people. You think of Lewis in 2008 at Silverstone. People were aquaplaning off everywhere, and he was 3-4 seconds. Schumacher, Barcelona 96, 4-5 seconds quicker than Villeneuve and Lazy and people like that. It was that sort of performance where it wasn't like a smidge ahead of everybody else. It was a leap ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. All right, well, we mentioned it. We mentioned that was a big weekend for Max. Lando's called it pivotal in the Drivers' Championship because that lead now is 62 points. Let's hear from the two challengers for the Drivers' title now.
Yeah, slippery. I think we struggle a lot with making the tyres work over one lap, especially. Long run, I think, started off a bit more competitive, but even there, I think we need to fine-tune a few things. But yeah, the one-lap pace is quite far off. Of course, it's quite unique conditions around here. That it's very cold, but at the end of the day, it's the same for everyone. So we need to try and understand what we are doing wrong at the moment.
Do you feel like you've got a clear direction of what you're going to ask the engineers for overnight going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it just feels massively tire-related. The balance of the car is not even that wrong. I think it's just we have no grip. Like just like driving on ice at the moment.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
So. I think the low fuel stuff's been okay. The high fuel, I was shocking. So Yeah, plenty of things to look into. These kind of combinations of things and what we struggle with the front graining and stuff is like, I'm just not very good at it. So it's always a bit of a struggle for me. But yeah, a good amount of time to work on it. So yeah, two halves really. Good low fuel and difficult high fuel.
Is it kind of fine margins when you're talking about that, when you're trying to kind of get on top of the graining side of things?
It can be. I mean, if I knew it, I'd probably do it. But even if I know it, it's still not an easy thing for me to go and do, because it's still it's a struggle for me always. So I'll look into it and see what I can work on. At least I can focus more on probably the high fuel than the low fuel for now, but see qualifying well and qualifying at the front will always help everything else, so yeah, plenty of things to look into tonight.
How are you feeling just generally about the rest of the weekend? I know it's low grip conditions, but hopefully things will improve as the weekend goes on.
Yeah, I hope so. They probably won't, but it's I don't know, it's just very difficult, super low grip. I feel like I could drive a road car quicker than we drive at the minute, so yeah, I don't know, mixed feelings, but
we need to get you out on a hot lap to find out if you can drive a hot lap.
I probably won't be able to.
All right, cheers.
Well, coming into this weekend, a lot was made of Ferrari feeling fairly confident, thinking this track was going to suit them. We've seen Mercedes top the times in both those sessions today. Where do you think Red Bull and McLaren are right now?
I think it's hard to tell, but I think all four teams, certainly in Max's case, so you could say 7 of them, are in the fight, aren't they? And we haven't seen Mercedes in the fight like this for a while. But again, I'm going to caveat it, because in Austin we thought the same thing. They looked quick on a Friday, didn't translate to Saturday. So treat it with a degree of caution, but at the moment it does look like Mercedes are in play. Certainly Ferrari on their long runs show great pace, and McLaren will be there. They'll be in the fight.
Yeah, the only thing you can say is they possibly run less fuel than others on a Friday, because it shouldn't be that much of a shift from Friday to Saturday. Not that much changes.
Well, you know lots of the people from the Brackley team. You can go ask them.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I have. But I think they'll be there tomorrow. I hope so. It's going to be a great fight. It really is. And it's such a tough place here to qualify. They're on their limit. They're on the edge. So easy to make a mistake. And it's a real challenge. Very stressful, I think, for the drivers around here.
It's going to be exciting. Stressful for the teams too, maybe, with all the walls around here and the lack of grip, because as we saw in Brazil a couple of weeks ago, it can turn into a very, very busy weekend for the mechanics in the garages. Williams with both cars suffering a lot of damage all round. And it was a busy couple of weeks back at Grove once the cars were returned in order to get them prepared for this weekend here in Vegas and all the spares. So they posted a video on their social media to show everyone just what a challenge they faced post-Brazil.
Which we don't think we can use. We've got a lot of stuff that's been damaged, which we... It's been crazy. I mean, after last week.
Phenomenal effort from all involved, especially in this 24 race season. Let's hear from the two drivers now and their thoughts on what the team managed to do to put the cars back together for this weekend here in Vegas.
No, it's been a very tough couple of weeks for the guys and girls. There's been a lot of work being put in a period where everyone's also at the end of a season and everyone's tired. So to have both cars ready in the same spec as they were in Brazil is a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, we've been flat out since, I think, after Brazil we went straight back to the factory. We've been working a lot, doing a lot of simulator, a lot of preparation for this last triple header. So it's been going well. We did, I think, a very good job as a team. We are stronger than ever together, and we lose and win as a team. And unfortunately, it was a tough weekend in Brazil, but we are, I'm sure, bouncing back much stronger. The guys in the factory have done an amazing job to bring the two cars back here in Vegas, and I think we are looking competitive here. So let's try to have a good weekend.
Yeah, both drivers there, and Alex Albon, of course, didn't get to race in Brazil, didn't get the car on the grid in time. We heard from Lando earlier on, Janson. He said you can go faster around here in a road car. You're about to go and find out. You're taking Simon Lazenby for some hot laps around here. Can you please scare him for us? He hasn't been scared enough this weekend yet.
I'll try my best. I've heard it's got a stick as well. I have to use a clutch.
Has he got a handbrake?
Do you remember how?
He's got a handbrake. Yeah, well, we'll see. I've also got this giant boots that I'm wearing, which Lazenby's a little worried about, which I love.
Excellent news.
Anyway.
Brilliant. We will see you afterwards, hopefully. You go off to do that. Now, Corinne, just before we move on, we're going to move on now to hear from the Ferrari drivers in just a moment. But yes, this track, this layout, the lack of grip, when will they start to feel confident, these drivers?
Don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict what the track evolution is going to be like. You'd imagine it is going to get better and better, right? And ultimately, actually, in the race, even as the race unfolds, it will get quicker and quicker and quicker. And the track will be at its best on the last lap of the race. So you just got to, at the end of the day, it's the same for everybody. And you've just got to find a way to find bits of confidence to just put the lap together. And that's the thing. When they're in these low grip conditions, it's very easy to make a mistake.
We mentioned the last lap of the race. Last time we were here on the last lap of the race, Charles Leclerc pulled off a fantastic move on Sergio Perez to take second in the race. Well, Charles Leclerc was busy during the week as well.
Lovely to see you, Charles. Bonsoir. Good to see you and Carlos. It is. I know Paul Mescal was out with you in Austin. How useful was that? And he tries to draw on his maybe time as a sportsman in this particular role.
It was amazing. He shared a little bit of his experience on what it is to like to be on set on such a great movie. So yeah, we don't know much about it. We didn't ask too many questions because we still want to be surprised tonight. But yeah, we are super excited to be here.
I don't think they serve popcorn though in this kind of things, and I love popcorn.
Hey boys. Hey boys.
Hello.
Hey boys, careful. What were you saying about me?
The star of the
Here's
show.
a real gladiator. Here's a real gladiator.
It's the main man himself, is Paul Mescal. Great to see you, Paul. But listen, I was talking to the two guys about the time you had together in Austin. I mean, how valuable was that to you? And did you at all use sport to get in the mindset of a gladiator in the build up to this?
Yeah, I played a lot of Gaelic football growing up, but also like to be in the paddock for Austin, like I hope I surprised the boys with a little bit of my knowledge for it. I was asking them hopefully nerdy questions. But yeah, like in any context with any sport, I love to kind of get a peek behind the curtain, and these two are some of the best in the game, so yeah, it was pretty special.
I'm trying to think, is it a bit like going to Ferrari and trying to emulate Michael Schumacher, you following on from Russell Crowe's incredible performance 24 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know, it's probably a question for the guys. I don't think you ever really think about the past or the future. You can only focus on your own legacy and the lane that you want to carve out for yourself. So of course people outside think about that, but I'm worried about my own plot of land, yeah.
Your F1 interest, is it across the board? Are you always?
It's across the board, but I'm with the two boys, so we're Team Scuderia. I'm going to be there at in Las Vegas, so I'm incredibly excited for that race.
The gladiator mentality, I guess it will give you an extra maybe percentage or two heading to Las Vegas, but some show this film, and it is a favourite for sportsmen. That's the other thing, this franchise. It's so many sports people have been inspired by the first movie, and I guess hopefully this one too.
Fingers crossed. Like, I think I'm a sports person as well as I still can't shake that part of my brain, and I think if you're a fan of sport, I think it's a good film for you. I think
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Exactly.
Strength and honor.
Are you not entertained?
Well, we're certainly entertained here in the Formula One paddock. We've come down to the crazy golf, or putt-putt, as Danica was telling us it is in America. We've lost her to golf, but just on Ferrari, Corinne, they've got big hopes for this weekend. Tell us why they should go well here, and why they've particularly picked out this circuit of this last three.
Well, we've seen that, generally this season on circuits where you've got slow corners, predominantly slow corners, they're competitive. And I think, to be honest, though, in recent times, in Mexico, they were amazing. In Austin, they were amazing. And those are circuits which Mexico is similar to this, right? Lots of slow speed corners, one big long straight. So I think they'll be strong here. And the long run pace today in practice certainly indicated that they're right on it.
Danica, how are you getting on down there? Oh, have you nearly fit? Is this a par two, is it?
Well, no, it's because I set the bar with a 2. How many shots have you had? I've done it in 2.
Well, you did better than me. You did that right out of the box.
Aren't you the golfer?
I didn't say I was good. I just like to golf. So you hit it in 2. So I finally got a couple over here. So I got a match.
You've got 2. You're playing 2 balls at the moment.
Oh, I always play 2 balls. Doesn't everyone that plays golf play 2 balls?
I don't think that's legal. I don't play a lot of golf, but I'm not sure that's legal, if I'm perfectly honest. And you missed it.
We'll play this like pool. You know, when you hit a ball off of another, it still counts.
I'm not sure those are the rules of golf, though.
That's it. See?
Was that 4 or 5 shots, Kareem?
I don't play golf. All I know is, you know.
You're a good golfer. Do you golf?
No, I probably should.
Well, you just did it. You did all right on that one. Right, loads going on here, but there's been loads going on since Brazil. Valtteri Bottas doesn't have a drive next year, but he started a What's Next viral meme campaign, if you like, on social media. We've all been following his videos. One of the things he did, though, was an Ironman on a day off at home, which involved a bike ride. I have to have a look at this. 3,800-metre swim, a 180-kilometre bike ride, and he ran a marathon as well.
You could hand us a piece of sushi.
I love seeing his personality coming out. Danica brought us down here to this sushi restaurant in the middle of the paddock, though, who have closed.
I'm trying to negotiate for a little piece of sushi. I'm not. Can you make some sushi?
Look at that.
I think I might have got it. I think, look at him, he's getting his knife out. I think we're going to make it happen. You know, it's basically dinner time here. I mean, it's like midnight, but it's dinner time now with our schedule. But I just think it's really amazing, just the show that Vegas puts on, and all of the, I mean, there's sushi all up and down this paddock, and I put that in air quotes because there's a Maker's Mark place, there's a Heineken, there's all kinds of different things that you can stop and have drinks or have food, and you know, it just makes it fun.
I'm going to bring it back. Go on.
We just need to swap it with Austin, don't we? And come here a month earlier when it's like 8 degrees warmer.
Let's just bring it back very quickly. Valtteri, Gabriel Bortoletta's got that seat for next season. What are Sauber getting in him?
A very talented young driver, and I think alongside Nico Hülkenberg, that's a good balance of youth and experience. And Hülkenberg's driven exceedingly well this year. You know, he's got to be one of the top 10 ranking drivers of the year. And I think with Bortoletto, you know, he's proven himself to be very competitive in F2. McLaren rate him highly, and they've been kind enough to release him. Oh, you've done it. Well negotiated.
We've done this, and the right way to do this is with your fingers. This is the way to do it. So, what is this?
This is hamachi.
Hamachi, yellowtail. Guys, this is living.
This is what happens if you're Danica Patrick.
Yeah. I see your friends don't get any.
Oh, wow. Right, come on, Kareem. While she says thank you, I want to quickly get an answer from you on who you think is going to be on pole this weekend.
Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc. Danica's busy ordering her sushi for the rest of the weekend.
He's telling
Quick
me what
word,
time
who's going to
they're
be on
open.
pole?
I'll be back.
Who's going to be on pole this weekend? Very quickly.
It'd be very fun to see Lewis on the pole. It'd be very fun to see him win a race before the end of the year for Mercedes. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to think Ferrari. I think probably Ferrari.